What up, Zappers? Welcome to Zapp Comics Radio Podcast. This is episode 41. We have a couple special guests with us today, so let's get right to it. We have Corry Brown, owner, comics proprietor of Zapp Comics. We have Lou Morg, tattooer at Critical Hit Tattoo. And, of course, the infamous Erik Klaus of the Ninjas and Robots comic book. How you guys all doing today?
Doing great.
Excellent.
Good.
Nice. Corry, what's the shop been like this week, man?
Been busy, man. It's been busy since we reopened, man. And the market's good right now. It's very healthy. It's a very healthy collector's market right now. It's good. No complaints.
Awesome. So we had Mr. Klaus's book, Ninjas and Robots, came out, I believe, last week. That's a big one.
Awesome.
Nice job, sir.
Awesome, dude.
Awesome. I love it. It was 2 weeks ago, actually, Joe. It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Joe.
How's the response been so far, man?
It's been solid, man. It's been really good. I've been really pleased. Like, people seem to be into it, and it's just great. I appreciate being able to do what I do and have people be able to get it and actually kind of dig it when they get it. So no complaints here. For sure.
That's awesome. Now, Ninjas and Robots originally was Kickstarter, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So tell us about Keen Spot. How did that happen, man? Is that like when you're in a band getting signed to like a awesome indie label that's going to get your book distributed and whatnot? Is that what it's like?
Yeah, pretty much. So the graphic novel was kind of like the demo tape, and it was kind of like, this is my thing and this is what I do. And they were like, yeah, let's do that. So they kind of gave me an opportunity to make it what I couldn't make it back then. You know what I mean? And start the story in the beginning and then just run with it and see how far it'll go. And like, I mean, I don't know, man. The sky's the limit. As long as people are into it and want to hear the story, I'll keep drawing it, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome.
I love the hat, Eric. I love that. The first turtle hat. I love that thing, man.
I know, man. I have two. They're so great. The other one's so sweaty and stinky. I gotta have two.
Don't wash it. Don't ever wash it.
I won't. It'll just ruin it for sure.
So, Eric, how are you getting the comics out to shops and stuff these days? Like, how's that happening?
To shops? It's
like how
Diamond. Like, because I got picked up by Keen Spot, they get direct distribution through Diamond. So it hit previews, and the pandemic hit and kind of put things on hold for a while. But shops were just able to put in their orders like all around the world. Like, I'm getting messages from Ireland and Spain and everywhere where people are just like, yeah, we totally went to our local comic shop and picked up your book. And so for me, that's like the coolest thing ever.
Hell yeah.
Wow. That's rad, because I'm just here drawing and it's getting out there. So we'll see.
And speaking of distribution on that book, I have a personal thing about it. I was short all my copies from Diamond. They weren't in the box. They were missing.
Boo.
So I was like, come on.
Dudes.
Diamond immediately said, don't worry about it, and it credited me all the shortages. I'm like, I can't sell a missing book, man. I want the money back. I want to sell the book.
Yeah.
This guy that's right below me here on the screen sent me a box. Like, I don't think I was done typing to him. The box is already in my shop, all signed. They immediately sold out, and then I put in the initial order again through them and him and Keen Spot. I got them in within like 4 days, so I'm almost out of them. Actually, I was just telling them before I have to do a reorder, number one. Number two is awesome because it has a variant cover by Minkyu Jung, who good friend of the stores, Kubert kid, and it's I just can't wait to get them in there. So it's awesome. They look really good on the shelf because all the covers are very different in their style, and a lot of people know you guys obviously because it's the store, but there are guys that just pick it up because they just think it looks cool.
My journey started at Zapp. You know that? I went to the Kubert school and spent time there, but it wasn't until Idan was like, yo, you got to go to this store. You got to go to Zapp. You got to go with me. We got to just sit and draw. And I'm like, dude, I got homework. I don't have time. I can't. And he's like, Eric, listen, you have to go. And I was like, all right, man. All right. So I went, and it was just like the most magical place ever. Like the shop, the people, like it was like, okay, this is what comics is all about. The school is great, and that's one thing, but actually going out in the world, being in that comic shop was like something else. So when you told me, yo, I didn't get any of that book, I'm like, what the like, I'm like, okay, nobody got it. Like, this book got pulled, and it doesn't exist, and I didn't know about it because Corry doesn't have it. But then I was like messaging my publisher, and I'm like messaging other shops, and they're like, nah, we got ours. They're right here. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, no, Corry has to have my very first book because that, for me, is where it started. So there you go, and I appreciate you.
And I promise you this, that book, whether it's the issues or the trade, will always be on my shelf. Always.
I appreciate that. That's so cool. It found its home with you, man.
Nice.
Thank you.
Awesome.
But I don't want to steal all the time, so go ahead. What you got, Joe?
No, we're just going around.
Joe,
Joe, what's new with you, man?
Dude, I just got this cool banner behind me that I don't get to use at any conventions this year. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. So, no comic conventions, no tattoo conventions. Boo, right? Big boo. 2 thumbs down on that. That sucks. Tell us about it.
Yeah,
I was supposed to tattoo. Oh, go ahead, Corry. I'm sorry.
No, you go.
I was supposed to tattoo at the very first ever video game tattoo convention down in South Carolina, and this was like a big event. Like all the nerdy tattooers from across the country were coming down. It was like a who's who of like nerd stuff, and it got canceled, and that just wrecked my entire year. To be part of like something so big that means so much to me, and it got pulled, and it was impossible to do. You know what I mean? So that was a big strike for 2020.
Are you tattooing again now? Are you guys open?
Yeah, we've been open since August 1st. So at least I'm tattooing, making money and stuff, and but it's the fact that like the auxiliary stuff that do going out, like Erik was saying before, like they're going out and like doing cons, meeting people, getting out there, you know, being part of the whole scene and everything. That's all ground to a complete halt now.
Now, when you tattoo now, how much different is it when you were doing it before? And obviously, you guys had certain protocols anyways. Is it a lot different now that you're reopened with the Corona stuff? Is there more steps and more?
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything else. I mean, you got to take your temperature. You got to do a whole questionnaire to come in, and then you know, we're wearing scrubs now, and like the health department's a little more on top of us. And it, you know, like some of the rules changed as far as coming into the shop, like all appointment based and everything. So what I'm doing now is like, I mean, it's busier than ever, so that's not really affecting us. But we're not taking walk-ins and stuff. Like you can't just come to the shop. But we're gonna try to enact some of the changes. Like, so we're gonna wade through when the smoke clears, kind of see what happens and see what we need to stick with or what we're gonna be stuck with forever, and what stuff might just kind of go by the wayside as temporary. So.
Now, have you noticed people are like more nervous and more hesitant to come in?
No, not at all, man. Dude, the first 2 weeks was like people like, yo, you're the first person I've seen in like months. That's not my like wife or husband, and they just wanted to hang out. They just came. They didn't even care about getting tattooed. They just want to hang out for a couple hours. I was like, yo, I'll take money to hang out. That's cool.
You know what's cool is we get in the store, like even the other day, this probably happened like 30 times. People come in like, listen, my kids have not left a house since like school ended in March, and this is the first place they're coming. So it happens all the time. They want to get the Pokemon cards, whatever. So they know it's like a safe place. It's not super busy. We're really good with the limitations and the capacity and everything like that. So it's cool. People are cool. People understand, especially small businesses. You're a small business, you know, and it's a personal thing too. So they will come out and will support you. I've seen that more now than I ever have before.
What about people going to Joe's house? What about you, Joe?
Getting some ribs and stuff at Joe's house.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
What's the matter, Joe? You're blushing. You never blush.
Yeah, what happened?
Unreal. So Brown, Corry Michael Brown. Besides everybody coming in for these 2 books from our dear friends here, we got Inkblot 2 from Emma and Rusty. Cool for them. Besides people coming in for those books, what have people been coming into Zapp for the most these past couple weeks?
You know, this is the first time ever that every single category is hot. Like sports cards are on fire. Pokemon has never been bigger, aside from maybe its initial launch back in the 90s. The vintage figures, or the prices have quadrupled since like February.
Oh man,
It is ridiculous. I've never seen it like this before. But as far as the comics, there's a lot of instant hot books that come out, whether it's Thor or Venom or whatever. But the 3 Jokers finally came out after like literally like 4 years and like 3 delays, and it was massive. It's hands down the biggest seller of the year. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3. The 3 books that come out, they're gonna be 1, 2, 3. It's not even a question. It's insane.
Who was that, Snyder or King on that?
No, that is Jeff Johns and Fabic.
Oh, wow.
And it's
All
beautiful. Right. It's beautiful. You know, it looks and feels like The Killing Joke. Fabic has its own unique style anyways, but it has a Ballin-esque look to it, which I think he did on purpose. But it's sold like it's ridiculous. Everybody bought it, and everybody. So it felt like the old days, like when like a Death of Superman or Big Number 1 came out. So if we would have done a midnight release for it if it was normal times, obviously. But it was pretty amazing. So it's pretty cool. The market's healthy. It's very healthy. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but we're gonna ride the wave as long as we can.
Are variant covers still a thing even during these times? Are people still printing up tons of like Erik Klaus? How many variant covers were there for your book?
5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
5 and a sketch, or is a sketch one of the 5?
It was one of the 5. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And there's 5 for number. Is there how many for number 2? Is there 4 or 5? There's 4, right?
4.
Yeah, because no sketch for number 2.
My cover, yeah, for number 2.
Yeah.
who did the variants? Like who's on the variants?
For 2, it's Minkyu Jung. It's Jim Mahfood. Gochi, who's like a really big Dragon Ball like Instagram guy from Spain, super awesome. And
and there's an Erik Klaus one, I think, as well.
I think there is an Erik Klaus one. That one's pretty cool. But
hey, listen, how did you reach out to them? They reach out to you as a mutual thing? How did you decide on the guys doing the covers? Obviously, Minkyu's your boy, but I mean, like, other than that, like, how did you decide on like who's doing what?
Yeah, it was just okay. So it was just kind of like homies and stuff, like people I know, like through Instagram, through social media that I met at cons. Like the Jim Mahfood, I saw him at an NC Comic-Con. We were both tabling, and I've been following him forever. Like his stuff is sick, and I try to talk to him whenever we're doing shows. I think I met him the first time at New York when I was at Kubert School. But I was like, "Yo, man, what would it take to get you on a variant cover?" And he was like, "Yo, man, just shoot me an email and we'll figure it out." And we did, and it was it's super sick. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's super, super sick. But yeah, of course. What's that?
I've seen all the covers for 2.
Oh, have you? And then 2, then Minkyu, I just messaged him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm super busy, but of course I'll do something." And I was like, "Okay."
He'll never say no to you. Why would he say no to you? He's
yeah. It's just cool to be able to ask people that to be like, "Hey, you wanna be part of this?" And for the most part, like if people have time, they've been really into it, so it's been cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Corey, who's the other cover from? There's another cover on number 2. Can't remember.
I don't remember. I just remember that gorgeous Minkyu one I ordered. Triple normal.
Did you?
Yeah, of course I did. It's Minkyu. Love that guy.
Do you have all the variants there?
Dude,
Corey, do you have all the variants?
I think right now all we have is the regular cover and the blank cover left, I think, of one.
Nice.
Wow, nice.
So I think
it's got to be a good feeling, man. Good feeling selling your book out like that. It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty good. Like, and of course there's a lot of really rad covers, really cool cover artists working on this stuff. And that just happened to work out. But it's really cool when people are like, "Yeah, I totally read the book and it's cool." And because I write the story as well as do the illustration, that is super meaningful, But anyway, I'll take it however it comes. Like, I don't care. If they want to buy a cover, then great. Go for it.
Are you going to do anything? I know you did the first 2 volumes on Kickstarter. Are you going to do going to continue this as a comic book form to continue the story? Or are you going to do something different after this?
I don't know if I'll do another Kickstarter. I may. Kickstarter seems very viable and very powerful right now. But I still haven't delivered on the second Kickstarter I did, so I'm hesitant to jump into anything else. Those guys are guaranteed to get the next bit of the story before anyone else, for sure. But at the same time, I'm kind of, because I've been given so much creative freedom with Keenspot, like they've just given me so much trust and so much love. Like, it's not the same as what it was with the Kickstarter. They've let me just kind of go bonkers. So there's a lot of brand new art and brand new story and stuff that people have never seen that's going to be in these published books. And I'm sorry, the one last cover was John Landry, and he's this really dope artist from France. So like, and I just follow his stuff online, and it's sick, and it's different. You know, I get really excited about stuff that doesn't look like everything else that's out there. Yes. You know, he's not a carbon copy. And so I've been following him, and I was like, yo, man, you want to do something? And he was like, oh yeah, for sure. So he's another one for number 2, and that's pretty much it. I think for number 3, I got a Damian Scott, so that's gonna be pretty dope. Nice. Like he went to the Kubert school too, so.
Is Keenspot happy with the numbers of number 1?
They're very happy. I don't think they expected it to be that good. They were kind of like, 1, needs to be okay, and 2's going to really kind of drop off. And we're not really sure because you did this Kickstarter before. We're not sure how it's going to be. But the numbers, I think, for being an indie book were really solid. And so they're pretty stoked. Nice. Like in 2, the numbers, they were like, okay, people are serious. Like, this is pretty good. So
I got a question on that. Hold on, Joe. I got a question on that. So does Kickstarter hurt like individual artists sometimes with that stuff? Like trying to get distribution? Like, is there any kind of pro and con to that?
I think if anything, it helps. I think if anything, it kind of gives a legitimacy to what you do. I have shown portfolios and books to different publishers at Comic-Cons. Like, this is what I do. What do you think? And I was like, this was a Kickstarter, and they want to know how many backers you had. They want to know what the numbers were before they even kind of take it seriously. And so I think all that just kind of helps. You know what I mean? And I think for me, because I'm such a perfectionist about stuff, like if I have something too long that I'm looking at, I have to change it. You know what I mean? Like, I have to keep adding to it. And so then people are always like, just leave it alone, let it go. And it's like, and it's hard because, you like, once it's out there, it's out there. You can't take it back. So it's like, either you got to make something new or, just something completely different. So, but yeah. I think
is it like being, like when you're in a band, like, is it like, do they see your numbers and they're like, yo, we want to publish you because you have these numbers now? Is it kind of like that?
Kind of, yeah. And I think, too, with social media, they're always looking at numbers. And my numbers aren't great. Like, maybe they're okay. Like, if you compare them to other people, they're not great. But it's never been a numbers thing for me. Like, I think the first Kickstarter had maybe, like, I don't know, like 100-something backers. You know what I mean? Like, I printed a bulk of 500 graphic novels, and that's all there ever were.
Wow.
And it's kind of taken me up till recently to sell all those, but then issue number 1, like, went way past that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's kind of like a brand new thing. Like, it's kind of, it's also like, it's different because I'm putting the energy from here and now into it. And just instead of just regurgitating what was and saying, yeah, let's just put it out again. And sometimes people do that, and it kind of bothers me as a fan, as a collector, to get stuff. And I feel like, well, this is over here in that book, and it's just the same thing. So I tried to make sure it wasn't. And I've actually had a couple people email me and say, hey, I held both things up side by side, and it was different. Like, it was a cool new thing. And I was just like, man, you're super rad for even doing that. But that's just the level of focus I put into things. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I feel like the fans deserve that. They're giving their time. They're giving their money. Like, these shop owners are putting the books in the store. Like, I'm going to not sleep, and I'm going to make it better than it ever was. I'm going to make it as good as I can make it right now. And then for the next thing, it'll be as good as I can do it at that time. And hopefully you see like a progression of whatever it is, cultivation of this story, this idea. So that's just me.
Dude, as a fan of books, man, I totally appreciate that you pay attention to providing some type of exclusivity between stuff when it gets re-released or putting stuff in a trade in a new issue or something like that. Like, I always like to see a little bit of diversity with that, not just dumping some of that stuff over, you know?
Well, you know, and that's me too. And that's, I think sometimes people, when you become like a published professional, right? You just spend so much, it's not that you're a jerk. It's really not. It's just that you spend so much time and energy doing these things. You don't have time to answer social media or emails or whatever. And when you're just trying to get stuff done and turned in, and someone's like, hey, let's put this thing out, you're like, yeah, just take it. But as a fan, and I'm still a fan, I freaking love comics. Like, I get disappointed when I feel like, oh, it's just the same thing, or they didn't even freaking try on this, or whatever, it's over here. And so it bothers me, and so I just can't. Like, I can't, you know, and people are like, I have a support group, and they're like, yo, you need to let it go. And I'm like, I can't. I gotta make it even better. Like, these people need it. So,
well, two things. I'm glad I want to see it in comic form, which is great. It belongs in comic form. I mean, the graphic novel is cool, but seeing it like as a comic's amazing. And two, the biggest problem we have is when guys come in, oh, you want to carry my book? They show me the book. It looks cool. I'm like, well, how much is it? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, well, what do you want for it? I don't know. Like, you got to come in and say, listen, this is my book. This is how much it is. Do you want it? Like, they say, I don't know. Right. And it's like, well, how much should I, like, it's $10, $5, $8, $20? Like, what is it? I don't know. And like, you got to be confident. I know a lot of guys are new to it, but that's my biggest pet peeve is somebody comes in with a book. Some look good, some don't. And like, oh yeah, how much you want for it? I don't know. You know, I'm like, well, you don't know. How much did it cost to make? Just figure it out. Like, yeah. you know, just give me a number. And it drives me insane because it happens all the time. And the reactions are always kind of weird when you're trying to explain to them, like it's business, like, you know, like that's the one thing I wish, like when we used to do sketch parties at the store, and obviously with ZappCon, I mean, Lou, you know this, like they don't teach you they teach you all the back end stuff at the schools. They should teach you. I wish they would do internships at like
100% on that.
And send like, okay, there's 20 shops in the area. Okay, you 5 go to this store, you 5 go to Zapp, and like one Saturday a month or whatever it is, sit outside on the sidewalk, sit inside the store, do something, because not only is it to interaction and like know how to take an order and figure out what they want, but also the money situation. There was so many times we're just like, I don't know. Did you pay me? I don't remember, you know, or you asked for what? Like, you know, I'm sure you guys see it at the cons and stuff like that. That's my only thing I wish they would do. I know. And every store would love to have them kids come in and just draw for people. It's amazing.
They don't teach that. That is not something they teach. And
I understand that it's an art school. I do get it, but no.
But it should be business. I agree with Eric. It should be, and Corey, should be business on top of the art stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How to sell yourself, market yourself, how to deal with the public, even. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is the school itself is an art school, right? But it's a business. It's a business. I paid $90,000 for 3 years. All right, and I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but I'm saying you pay. But when I was older when I went, so when I went to my instructors and I said, how much do we charge? Because people are asking me, everyone says, I don't know. All the instructors say, I don't know. And I get that it's different, all right? If this is your first year drawing, maybe you shouldn't charge $300.
Hello.
What happened?
So for people
there he
can't gauge them stuff. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Your frustration shorted out the feed, dude.
My energy just like bursted. I understand. So, like, you know what I mean? I get that it's like a sliding.
Frozen in time.
Another dimension.
Good pose, though. I do like the pose.
That is a good pose. We'll get him back.
You like the pose? Am I still frozen?
Oh, there he's still there.
Yeah, there he is. There he is.
There we go.
All right, but yeah, you're right, Corey. I won't even try to talk about it right now, but you're right. They need
just simple fundamentals. Like when you go to be a doctor or a surgeon or whatever, you still have to take the basic courses too. You know what I mean? Like just even if it's just 1 month, and you go one Saturday a month, you know, whatever it is, just throw it into free comic. Free comic day is a perfect example. You have to go to a store. This is a store you're assigned to. When I worked at Toys R Us for years, on Black Friday, everybody who worked in the main offices had to go to a store to work. So all the suits in these main offices would go and say, what do you need me to do? They would push shopping carts. They'd hand out free wrapping paper. They would refill shelves. They would just be there for like 10, 12 hours. And it was part of the assignment just so they can know what it's like to be down in the trenches and just running around. And that's what I think it needs to be just I mean, because a lot of artists are quiet guys. They're just sitting down drawing all day, which is fine. But you got to, especially you go to a Comic-Con, you hit big on something like that. Like I said, if somebody asks you, I want this, this, and this, what do you charge? I have no idea. Even freelancing, not even like a sketch thing. It's like, what if you are applying for a job and someone comes to you, hey, I want you to create this big mural for me. How much are you going to charge me? And they go, I don't know. You don't want to say, you don't want to be like that because it's a turnoff, you know?
Right. You're right.
And what you can do? You can't get somebody to represent you yet. You're too young and inexperienced, and you don't have that backing yet to have like a rep, you know, to do it, a manager, you know. So I think they should just teach you the basics, or at least run you through them, you know. And other than that, the school's amazing, but I just wish that was an added thing on there.
If they
I can say this,
then I would teach them that. That's all I got.
I can say this from experience right now. I have an apprentice right now. Shout out to R from Ant. But it's not just the fundamentals of the actual art and technicality of tattooing, but it's everything in the business. It's going to conventions and how to act and how to interact with I guess just people in general in the shop and out in public. Like it's I took the approach in me training people of offering more well-rounded I guess everything in the business, you know, in business meaning from like what to charge, how to operate in the shop, how to conduct yourself, you know, around other tattooers, how to conduct yourself around the public, you know, just everything like that. And that's I see that a lot in sometimes in art schools and sometimes even with artists and, you know, with tattoo artists too, where like, you know, you're like a quiet, awkward dude, but you're really talented, but like you're really weird and stuff. And you don't, you know what I mean? Like you're super uber talented, but you're super socially awkward, or like I just want to hide by myself and not interact with people, and that like the whole like I was saying before about being in the trenches, like getting out there and like and being around the people and having fun. And Joe, you've come to conventions with me. You know, it's crazy, man. It's like that's super important to I guess building yourself as even an artist. Sorry, I'm getting attacked by a cat over here. But building yourself as an artist, because I think it'll help you ultimately. You know, social media is important, of course. But if you're if you're hiding in your house, man, and not getting out there, not doing anything,
you have to leave your comfort zone. You have to get out. Like,
yes, that's what I was looking for. Yeah.
I hate doing videos. I had anxiety before we started doing this. I can't stand this stuff. You just make yourself do it. Trust me, you just got to do it. You just do it. I would rather not talk to anybody. I'm like a hermit. I would love to be in the woods somewhere and not talk to anybody.
Are you in a dark room right now? Are you like locked in a dark room?
Joe made me turn the light on. The light was off. Joe made me turn the light.
He was going to bail on us about a half an hour before showtime tonight because his daughter was having a sleepover, and I said, no way. I said, I got guests coming on the show. I don't think so, dude.
Listen, one of my favorite things is Joe, who I loved it at. I noticed it can be very sensitive, so I love it when he gets mad at me because it makes me so happy, because if I'm ever mad at him, he's super sensitive. So I love it. Look how red he's turning right now because he knows it's true. He knows it.
Hey Joe, can I leave my house and ride my bike to your house and be on the podcast in about 10 minutes?
Lives right around the corner from me. It's pretty funny.
I think what you're saying though is like absolutely right. I think a lot of the journey is just going out there and being around people and just hanging out. And especially as an artist, when people start standing over you and like watching you draw and you are on the spot, like that's another level of skill that is required. And then if you're like talking to him and drawing, and I love that Mafu does that, because he'll be like looking over here and drawing. Still looks great. I love that you learn. But even when we were coming to Zapp and when we were doing stuff with Corry, we were kind of like, if you buy a blank cover from Zapp, this store that we're at, then we'll do a free pencil sketch. And then if you want to pay extra for inks or colors, then we'll do that. But we wanted to give something free to everyone that was there if that's all they wanted. And a lot of times people will be like, you know what, go ahead and ink it, go ahead and color it. And then that's how we made some money. But we want to first and foremost support the store that's invited us in and given us pizza and whatever. Like, that's just how it should work. And I think that, I don't know, man, people don't know. And so there's always like the a-hole rule, like where you're at cons and stuff. And it's like, how much do we charge for prints? And Idan was great about this because he would always go and check everyone beforehand, because he doesn't want to be that guy. If these people are selling theirs for 10, we're not going to sell ours for 5, because that's a real dick move. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be 10 too, because that's just what we're doing. And so we would kind of gauge it on the show, on the audience. And so it would kind of vary and fluctuate a little bit. But that's not stuff that they teach you in school. They tell you to go to cons and talk to artists and show your portfolio. But what they should tell you is that if you go to a con and show your portfolio to an artist and they take time to talk to you, you should support them in some way. You should buy a book. You should buy a book. Yes. You're taking money away from them by taking their time. Yes. They don't teach you that trash. They just send 100 kids out to beg, artists that are trying to work and trying to make the table back or just make the hotel or whatever, trying to live. And it's like they should teach you that stuff, but that's.
So I got a question for each one of you guys, right? So if people like, say with Corry, with the comic shop, Joe being in the band, and Erik with the comics, like, if people come up to you, what are they asking you advice wise, and what's the craziest advice you give somebody? Like weird ass advice. Not as a blow off, just something really strange and funny and just like made everybody chuckle and all that.
Joe, you go first. You've been quiet tonight. You go first, Joe.
Yeah. So one time after a show, someone came up to me and was like, "Oh, I would love to get lessons from you." And I said, "I don't really give lessons. Not that I wouldn't. I just didn't think I'd be any good at it because I'm slightly impatient sometimes, bro." But anyway, they asked, "Well, what's the best advice you could give me?" And I literally just said, "You need to have a couple sips of ginger ale, and you need to chill the hell out, and you're going to be fine." And that's how you play the drums. It had nothing to do with playing the drums, but
I love it.
And what happened? What was the reaction?
I just laughter followed by
Lamb of God.
No, laughter followed by what could that possibly mean?
Nice.
What about you, Corry? What's the weirdest advice you ever had to give anybody?
So many people come in with their comics, and a lot of them are from the 90s, like Youngblood #1 and Valiant #1s. Not that they're bad books, but they're massively overprinted. There's millions of them. Like, literally, they come in, "Oh, I have all these books. They've never been removed from their bags." And they're like, "Well, somebody put them in the bag, so they weren't sealed like that." You explain that to them, and they pull it out, and it's either the covers are shiny or whatever it would be, or they're so bad. Like, there's 2 examples. One, they have all this stuff. They said, "Okay, I have all these." I'm like, "Listen, these were printed in the late 80s, early 90s, the peak of the market. There's way too many of these. Just give them to somebody." I said, "If you have a nephew or a niece, a son or a daughter, or a neighbor, just let somebody enjoy them." And you either get, "Oh, I'm just going to put them away for another 30 years, which it's not going to matter," or, "Are you trying to rip me off?" And I'm like, I am telling you to give them away. How is that ripping you off? I don't want them. I am telling you to give them to that person over there. How is that ripping you off? And the second one is people come in with like, now if you're going to sell a car or you want to have someone look at your house, what's the first thing you do?
Pull your pants down.
No, you clean it. Like, you wash your car, you vacuum your car, you clean your house before you show it off, right? So people come in, they'll have this like nasty, dirty trash bag, and the comics are just in there like you just found a dead raccoon on the side of the road. They bring it and they plop it on the counter, and you go through, you're like, yeah, this isn't worth anything. And they get offended. Like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you just literally brought me trash in a trash bag. I am calling it what it is. Then you get mad at me because you're like, oh, this one's worth this much. Put it in a briefcase. Dress it up at least. Put some effort into it. They're stuck together from being in the basement. It's all moldy or whatever. So people get so mad at certain things. And that happens a lot. I mean, most people are pretty cool about it, but you get a lot of these guys are like, what? Are you kidding me? I saw this. The other thing that's bad too is that they'll have like sites that say, oh, if you have these toys or whatever, you're rich, and they show like a
soft head turtles,
or like a Boba Fett with a missile or something like that.
Yeah, which was never technically released. If you have this toy, it's worth $500,000. I'm like, they were never released. Nobody has it. Or they show you like a Gem Mint 10 copy of something, which is only one of. They say, oh, if you have this Charizard, it's worth $80,000. Like, well, no, it's not. Like, that one is, but nobody has that one. So they come in with the Charizards, and you're like, yeah, yours is worth like $200. Like, are you trying to rip me off? Look, it's $8,000. Like, no, it's not. I can't tell people that. I feel bad, but it's just the way it is. They just don't know the way the market is. But yeah, so it happens a lot. So that's my 2 cents. I mean, I didn't tell anybody to go drink ginger ale and cool off.
You need to chill out. Erik, what about you?
I don't know, man. Like, they look at my stuff and they say, I don't think they ask me how to do it. Sometimes they ask me what kind of pen I use or whatever, but, or they'll ask me about like social media following, like how do I get a bunch of followers? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a bunch of followers. I don't know. But
people
sometimes
find you. If it's social media, they'll just find you. You just gotta, the right person will see it and share it. That's all you gotta hope for. You really can't do anything.
Yeah, it's just a plug and away thing. It's just like a consistent, like twice a day, every day, like you're just doing it, and it can't be the reason you do what you do. It's just like, oh, I'm doing this thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and share it because I'm already doing it anyway. And then the rest of it will take care of itself. There's not. I mean, I'm sure there are methods and ways to boost that, but I don't possess any of those particular talents or gifts. So.
You have methods of mayhem, though, so that's good.
Get naked.
Oh, remember that? Oh, Corry Brown loved methods of mayhem.
There you go.
Front row.
Oh. All right, so I have a question for Lou and for Erik Klaus. The question is, during the pandemic, is virtual cons the thing? Is that worth it for your time for the day? I guess if you have literally nothing else going on, why not do a virtual con? Or what would you guys say against it or for it? Does it promote anything? It's just basically hanging out on social media all day, right? Have you guys done any?
I haven't. Erik, have you done any virtual cons?
I haven't. I got invited to a couple, and I don't think like our panel time was really weird and super late, and it didn't end up working out or whatever. I think it's super cool. I think that there is definitely like an internet base for people. It's just some place for people to go, and it's nice to have something happening, even if you can't physically be there. I think that's cool. Is it worth your time? I mean, what are you doing anyway? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't sure about doing this podcast, man. I was trying to be in bed and, watch Cobra Kai. No, I'm kidding.
I knew it would bring a big smile to Corry Brown's face if you showed up today.
No, I had to, man. You asked me, and I was like, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think it's cool, and I mean, I would totally do that. I think that, like Corry is saying, even with the industry right now being super strong, like it's amazing. Like, right? This is like one of the worst things that has happened, but people are still alive and they're still interested and they still have interest and they still want to read and they want to experience and they want new books to come out. Like, I totally get that. Like, it's an escape, you know what I mean? And you can read about stories and characters and imagine things, and you can stay connected with other people via social media. Whereas when we were kids, like, that was totally not a thing. Like, so it's cool, man. It's different, but it's cool. I don't know, but no, I haven't really done anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't done them either. Like, I haven't done. It's for me, it's weird. Like I appreciate that it's there, and I love that it's there. I just haven't participated, just because I can't get into it. Like, this is cool. I love doing this kind of stuff, just hanging out online with some friends and just, like, you know, talking about stuff. But as far as like a virtual con, I was gonna do an art show before this all happened, and you know, my wife's like, "Oh, just do like a virtual art show like everybody else is doing." But I'm like, I can't. Like, I need like people there. I need to interact with people and have them see the stuff and inquire about it and ask about it. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until it's all over and people are going out and doing stuff again before I even do that. And there are people doing it, and the attendees love it and the artists love it. I can't do it myself. You know what I mean? So I'm not crapping on it. I'm just saying it's just a thing, you know, that I'm not into. But have people inquired about doing like a Zapp Con thing online? Have people talked to you guys about that?
No, I've been seeing a bunch of no. I've just been seeing a rise in virtual events happening, whether it's virtual cons or, like, you know, Down recently did a televised a digital concert, and then NoFX is doing one as well in the middle of this month. I thought that's interesting.
Still around?
Shut the hell up!
Are they still around?
Ouch.
Yes, they're still around.
No, I saw a knock.
Yeah, but Metallica just did the drive-in thing.
Yeah, so everything's evolving.
I haven't heard NoFX, like, that name in like years.
Man, I remember that.
Hell yeah!
I saw them at Warped Tour.
You guys are breaking Joe's heart right now. Seriously.
No, Klaus knows. He's all about it. Hell
I know, man. I know. I love some punk bands, dude.
Nice.
No, but I think to be completely real, this whole like quarantine and pandemic thing has been super hard for creatives in general, and a lot of the homies I have just had a really hard time being creative, because a lot of our creativity is us, right? It comes from somewhere deep inside, and we might not be social. Like, I'm very like introverted by nature. It takes a lot of energy to like talk and like do that thing. But like, so it's been hard, I think, for people to be separated. So if you can have ways to still bring people together, I think that's super encouraging and refueling. And I think we kind of need that, and people need that. And we need to get to the place where we can, even if it's with masks and sanitizer and all that good stuff, we need to get to the place where we can have groups of people together, even 6 feet apart, because there's just some kind of magic that happens when that's a thing. And a lot of us, like, we need that. We need to draw from that, like Goku doing his thing and drawing for the spirit bomb, you know? It's like you need that from other people, other creatives, other artists, other just people that dig what it is you do. And we're all kind of in the same scene together, like all artists connected, whether it's music, whether it's comics, whether it's film, television, you know, tattoo art, graffiti art, like martial arts. It's all like one thing, and it brings us all together, and we kind of need that from each other, and we pull that from different places to put it in whatever it is that we do in our style, our way, you know what I mean? So
big time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But,
Corry Brown.
Yes.
Corry Brown, tell us some stuff.
Corry, what, you know, because Erik's talking about having the scene and having that, you know, when you go to a show, it's like the living embodiment of everything that's on social media. Social media, everything's reduced to squares on your phone, you know, but when you go to a show, when you do something with others in the community, it's like this, it becomes alive to you, you know? So my question to you, Corry Brown, is with the local comics community coming into the Wayne shop, was it when you, I know we spoke about this in the last couple of podcasts we did since Zapp has been able to reopen, but has the return of customers, was it all that first week, or has it been like gradual, and now like up to this past week, are you starting to see a lot more folks coming around, or did they all come around as soon as they could?
It was a little of both. You had some guys that just could not wait, and the June 15th came, and they go, I just want to stand in the store. Like they like it. Knowing I can be in the store again, that's all they wanted. You got some guys that came in, they're just like, hey, when did you guys reopen? Like this past week, they're saying, I'm like, June. Because you know what? With everything going on now, like I pay attention like crazy to all the dates because it affects me directly. But if someone's like, hey, I'm working from home doing insurance, they're not paying attention to like when phase 3, when like the small business can reopen or the restaurant's going to reopen. They don't know the dates like I do. And nobody's telling you. You have to kind of like find it. So like we don't get calls at the store or an email to the store saying, hey, okay, New Jersey just changed this, we can open then. I'm paying attention. I find out when you find out. Like, you know, I have to either search for it or I see it come up in a Twitter feed or something. So a lot of that was, you know, it affected things, but it wasn't all at once, no. And a lot of guys, some people are very nervous to come out. Some people are like, I don't care, you know, it's like whatever. So it all depends on like who you are. And also like at the beginning, there wasn't that many new releases hitting. And then once they all started coming out, like whether it was Marvel or DC or whatever, people started coming out because they just assumed nothing was happening. You know, like, oh, some people are built on, I'll come out when the stuff is there. And you got some guys that just like, I'll just go in there and look for X-Men back issues. So it all depends on what, like, see, my kids have a sleepover and the phone is going off for one of the kids. So
you're looking for cookies or something?
Eat those cookies.
Dad, when are you making those cookies?
Come on.
Yeah, but so yeah, not everybody swarmed in at once. Some guys like, listen, I know there's a limit. I don't want to, like, they don't know what to think. Okay, is there 1,000 people outside? Is there 5 people outside? Could we go and let 10 people at a time? Every day there's a point where we have to maximize a lot. Okay, stop, wait. Everybody's cool about it. It's never been a big deal. Yeah, so now I saw people this week I haven't seen since like early March. And they just go, I'll just wait, or their job just opened back up and they don't live near us, but they work near us. That helps out a lot, you know, obviously. But yeah, and then we didn't really lose many people. A lot of people, it's like, nope, I want my stuff. I'll get there when I get there, mail it to me, whatever. And I think a lot of people realize that they don't need to buy comics, but we need to sell them. And a lot of people get that, which I love. You know, people just understand, like, you need this. I don't need it. I like it, but you need it because this is what you survive on. So a lot of it opened up, I think, the country as a whole. It's when this is all, I know it's hard right now, but when it all comes back to like the dust is starting to settle, I think small businesses are going to see a pretty big resurgence, because I think a lot of people, if they have any money to spare or to spend, they take it personal. And I think that happens a lot. Like an example, like your book, Erik, I think a lot of people know you, especially at the store. So when they're buying Ninjas and Robots, they feel like they're buying it directly from you, as opposed to like Marvel Comics. They don't feel like they're giving it to anybody. There's a whole big debate right now with the Mulan thing, you know, with it's Disney's ripping you off and all this other, you know, I'm like, Disney's a business, man. I'm like, you know, their parks aren't open. Like, they're losing money. They got to make it up somehow. Like, I know, like, okay, $30 seems like a lot of money for the movie, okay? You're going to pay more than that to go see it in the theater with a family of 4. Plus, you got to figure out everybody who worked at that studio, every single person who worked on that movie, like, their job depends on it. If this movie is not a success, they might never work again. Like, it might shut section of the studio down. Like, people don't realize that. They just look at the big thing. Disney doesn't need the money. Maybe not, but they do. But like, what about the guy on the bottom floor that's literally doing the most minimal thing for that movie to work? Like, it affects them too. So a lot of lot of people, it's eye-opening for a lot of things,
I have to add what Corry said too, because like where my tattoo shop is located, there's been a couple businesses that got hit really hard and closed down forever. A lot of the wedding industry and a lot of other industries that are outside of I guess restaurants and stuff got hit really hard. And even I was driving around, I know a couple comic shops closed down in a couple different towns around all of us. And I don't know down by you, Eric. I don't know if any shops you see anything closing down there, like comic shops, anything like that.
No, actually, our local comic book store, the Dragon's Lair, did. I think they did really well during that time because, again, people, they still want stuff and they still need stuff, and even if they feel like it's you that needs it, it's like really it's a personal thing. The comic scene is like, it seems big like to people, but it's really small, and it's like, the whole 6 degrees of separation, it's not even that. It's like 1 or 2. Like, I know a guy that knows this guy, you know what I mean? Like, it's different. Like, you kind of really have to be on your best behavior, and you kind of have to do what you need to do. Otherwise, you kind of won't work. That's kind of the thing. But at the same time, if you're genuine, I think, with people, and you're true to what it is that you do, I think people kind of resonate with that and they connect with that, and there's a ton of support. Like, I know there has been for Zapp, and I know there has been for me and for Ninjas and Robots, and it's really cool. Like, it's touching. Like, when I see sales numbers, I don't think about like, dollars necessarily, you know what I mean? I'm thinking like, there's a person.
You're thinking clams.
What's that?
You're not thinking dollars, you're thinking clams.
That's right. There's a person that's like spent whatever money they had or didn't have just to like take a chance on this, or just because, they thought it was cool, or just because they know me or whatever, and got all the covers or whatever. Like, I don't even know, but it's just, like, it's really like profound. Like, it's like, all right. And that just makes you want to do even better, I'm sure for you, for Corry, like, when people come in and they're excited, like, you feel the magic, you know what I mean? And so when you get up to go to work, you're like, that helps play a part. That helps motivate you to do what you do. And I've been to a lot, and I know I've said this before, but I've been to a lot of comic book stores up and down the East Coast. Like, I haven't gone West Coast as much yet. Just wait. But up and down the East Coast, and Zapp is really different. Like, it's different. Like, you maybe don't see it because you're in it, but there's something really, really special about it. And so when people hear talking about, what can I do for my business? What can I do for my comic book shop? My wife and I are like, hey, do you have social media? Of course you do. Go check out Zapp Comics, because they're doing it right. And I'm serious. Like, we tell people, this is a great, not to mimic, not to copy, but if you want to take notes, like, this is a great place. And if you can go visit there, you owe it to yourself to do that, because the experience is very different. Like, it's different. Like, and I don't know, man. And maybe one day we'll sit down and have drinks and I'll tell you about it. But it's very different. It's very cool. You guys are doing a really good thing.
Corry, you did a really, like, I mean, I've been watching you the whole time, and you did a really great job of, like, keeping that place open and going there every day and doing whatever you could. And, I mean, not to even pat yourself on the back, man, but you just know people support you for what you did, man.
Just even posting the books. Like, these are the books we have. Like, if you want them, hit me
the
up.
books I didn't get to
mail them out.
Like that mask book, man.
What happened too was, like, there was like 2 days where, like, nothing was happening, and I got really, like, I was down. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, because there was no end in sight. They didn't give you, like, okay, you're gonna open up this day.
Yeah.
Diamond was shut down. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I just sat. I remember sitting I'm in the store by myself in the back. The door is covered. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, this isn't gonna work. So I just started, like, looking around the store, and I said, okay, I'm gonna take a picture of everything that's in this one section. And nothing happened, so I did it again and again. And then finally, like, the fourth section, I noticed there was fish biting. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay here until that got a little soft. And I went something else, and I just went nuts, and I realized most people were on late on a Sunday night. So I would just go on Instagram Sunday nights from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and just list as many books as I could. And all day Monday, me and Ben would just pack books like I was gonna never stop. And I just did it. And we probably have another 50 or so regular people that I've never met before that live in California, Las Vegas, Florida, Texas, Maine. There's a couple guys in Chile. I send books and toys to Florida to get them to Chile, and they buy from us every single month now. So
that's rad.
You know what? You got to adapt. You gotta figure it out and adapt. You just can't sit there and feel sorry for yourself. You can for a few minutes, which is what I did. I didn't know what to do. Then you got to be like, you know what? I have this warehouse. I'm always complaining. I have this full warehouse with millions of books I can never get to. Well, guess what? That's what we did. We just started taking pallets and pallets of books. And Joe came by the store. You couldn't walk in the store. The store was just packing material and long box after long box.
It was a mess.
Or it looked like I lived there for 50 years and I never left my house. That's what it looked like. And we just did it, And then it was bumpy, but it made you stronger. You learn a lot. And you learn a lot about other people, too. I got people that bought gift certificates while we were closed, and they refuse to use them until we can open up regular. They're like, no.
Awesome. You mean like me?
They won't use them. They're like, nope. Yeah, you got one. They won't use them. They're like, I'll use them when you guys there's no limit on how many people can come in here. I'm like, you don't have to do that. They go, yeah, they want to. So the people are good, man.
Yeah. That was in the very beginning. That was in the very beginning when I don't remember. That was that was when we were all getting the word in New Jersey that stuff was going to get shut down, because we did the same thing at the tattoo shop where we like really pushed our clients hard to be like, look, man, like buy gift cards now because gift cards are going to help us out. And we actually paid about almost 2 months rent just selling gift cards alone. So that kept us open during the whole shutdown stuff. And I remember like you guys put the call out too for like, yo, come buy gift cards, come buy stuff because we're going to be closed literally any day. And I think the day of when I came there to get the gift cards, you guys were closed. Like that was it. So I remember that was like a really big push there to try to get everything before everything got shut down permanently. And we didn't know how long either. None of us knew how long we'd be shut down for.
It worked. We made it.
Glad you guys are open now, and you did a good job engaging the community with all the videos, not just the stuff of you selling the stuff. You still did the top 10 videos and the Zapp Talk and a couple podcasts and whatnot, So
yeah, that's what like what we're doing now. Like, Joe, this is because of you, bro. If you didn't do this, I wouldn't be doing a podcast. This is all you, man.
I know you tried to bail out, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Only professional here. Look at you got a backdrop. You got these fancy little headset on. You got the microphone in your face there. Look at you.
All four of us would have been at ZappCon if ZappCon was still happening next weekend. But it'll be coming next fall at some point. Hopefully, everybody will be coming again.
Listen,
Erik, were you?
So when the cons do hit back, especially the big cons,
it's gonna be crazy.
It's going to be bonkers.
People are gonna go crazy. They've never been to a show before.
Yeah, Erik, were you gonna do DesignerCon this year? Out in Brooklyn? No.
No, I was gonna do 5 Points in Brooklyn.
Oh, 5 Points. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5 Points.
Yeah. I was gonna do that one.
I was really bummed. We were getting ready to do it too, and it's
Have you done that one before?
No, I've been to it a couple of times, and we were like, this year we're gonna get a table, and it was like,
It's such a great show, dude. Like the people that run it, like, are so chill and so cool, and like it's the best because it's like Comic-Con, but edgier. And so you've got like all these guys like having graffiti wars outside, and they got like all beer everywhere, and it's great, man. And then I mean you can't go wrong with the beer and art, dude. That's great. But yeah, it's super cool. It's super fun. You should totally do that.
Hell yeah! All right.
And ZappCon, you should do that one too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hell yeah!
Good times.
2021.
Joe, nobody's returned the ZappCon ticket yet.
Hey, because they know
Wow.
we're still gonna have a good time.
Like, hold on to them. They're good. They're like, all right, we'll wait. Nobody's returning them. They're like, no, I'll wait. Until it's like canceled, which it's not going to be, they're not going to return this. So.
All right. Cool. All right. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Zapp Comics Radio Podcast. I want to thank our wonderful guests, Corry Michael Brown, Lou O. Cassidy, and Erik Klaus. Guys, thanks for joining us for the first video version of Zapp Comics Radio Podcast.
Excellent.
Those of you at home, we hope you enjoyed it. Zappers, good seeing you. We'll see you guys again at ZappCon 4 in fall 2021. We hope you and your family are staying safe during this time. You guys want to do a round of goodbye? Go ahead.
Bing bong.
Wasn't Bing Bong from Inside Out?
I don't know. It's just something that just happened. It just happened organically. I don't know what happened there.
All right, later, guys.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing it.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate
Very good talking to you, dude.
No problem. I'll keep you guys in the loop when the episode's done.